Hi everyone and welcome to the AI Shift. This is your weekly 15-minute strategy session designed for business owners who want clarity, not complexity. Whether you're stuck in tool overload, scattered workflows, or just unsure where to start, this is where strategy meets execution. It's designed to reset your week, sharpen your thinking, and turn AI from hype into help. Hi everyone, my name is Craig and it is very good to be with you today. And today on the AI Shift, we're going to talk about AI shouldn't suggest the next best action, it should take it. So today we're making an important shift from many businesses are using AI to tell them what to do next, and that's very useful. We all do it and we all find that we get amazing use of that and extraordinary insight. But it still keeps your business dependent upon your attention. And the real opportunity is bigger for you and for your business. AI shouldn't just suggest the next best action, it should take it. So let's delve into that about how that applies to you and to your business. So let me ask you, how many times has AI told you exactly what should happen next? Then nothing happened. It might have suggested following up a lead, publishing a post, sending a reminder, replying to an objection, checking in with a client. And you looked at the response your AI tool gave you and thought, yep, that's right. But because it was still a suggestion, it stayed dependent on your memory, your time, and your willingness to act in the moment. And that's where momentum dies. You said, great, yeah, we should do that. Phone call came. Knock on the door. One of your staff wanted to talk to you. A customer rang you. And the momentum died. You had a solution, you had the next move all ready to go, but your attention was distracted. And that's just business. That's just the constraint you operate in because you do have other interactions going on. Even though you may have locked away time to do stuff on with your AI tool of choice, some things happen. There are some constraints there in the world we operate. It's not a good bubble that you can just go and do some things. If you're running a business, operating in a business, you know there are interruptions. There's priorities. There's getting orders. There's getting sales. There's getting payments. There's looking after customers is your first priority. Your staff and your team. And the momentum dies because you have to take the action, and you're not letting AI take the action. So the myth we're going to bust that's out there now is that AI is very valuable when it tells you what to do next. That's helpful. That's excellent. I use AI for that. I use AI to be a thinking tool, a sounding board, a strategic partner, a critic, an analyst, a whole heap of tools and things that I can now action, not tools. I don't use it as a tool. It's an integrated part of our business. There are a whole range of things I can then go, bang, let's do this, and I get answers. And it's valuable when it tells you what to do next, but that's not helpful. Sorry, that's helpful, but helpful is not the same as being scalable. If AI needs your attention to move work forward, you are still the bottleneck. That's the real issue. And that is where people start to use AI agents to do a lot of things for them, to make decisions within guardrails, within constraints, within strict rules, so that they're not having to be there to make the next move. The reality is suggestions create awareness. They bring something to the forefront of your mind. But actions are what create momentum. The moment AI stops at recommendation, you're still responsible for remembering when to make it happen, approving routine choices, manually triggering action. That means the system still scales around your brain, not around installed logic. And you're doing these actions based on your experience, your knowledge, your expertise, which means you have a lot of the decision logic built into your brain. You need to take that from your brain and give it to AI to do it for you. The shift is here. You, as the founder, as the boss, as the owner, as the marketing executive, as whatever role you are or what you want to play, you decide once. AI applies it repeatedly. So you set the guardrails, you set the guidelines, you set the criteria on how a decision is made. Your role is not to keep making the same decision. Your role is to define the criteria, the rules, the boundaries, the success condition. Once that exists, AI should act. You would know now in your mind what your ideal client profile is. You know in your own mind what you grant approval to your sales team for when they ask you different questions. You know how big a discount they can give. You know what they can recommend in terms of service. You know what they can recommend in terms of delivery. You know what your ideal client is. You know what your products are. You've got that in your brain. You need to give that to AI. This is a model we work with, and to automate what we do, to assign our decision criteria to our AI tool of choice through our various workflows, decisions, tasks, actions, whatever. You have a decision logic, then a trigger, then autonomous action, then an outcome, then a review loop. So the decision logic is trigger, autonomous action, outcome, then review. That's how momentum compounds. Because action is no longer dependent on remembering. It's no longer dependent upon you copy and paste. It's no longer dependent on you to write, to type, to do whatever to send it. You can have it set up for you. An example might be something like a prospect, a lead, downloads your pricing guide. In the old model, you may have AI suggests this lead should receive a booking invitation, or this lead should receive a phone call, or this lead, something should happen with this person because they've done this, because there are certain criteria. Download a pricing guide, you need to do this. But someone still needs to actually action it. The new model is someone downloads your pricing guide. The installed logic that you have built into your AI tool is you know your ideal buyer profile. You know from the information that's come through that this person has viewed your pricing guide twice. You know from their responses to get the lead, to get the guide, their business size is above 5 staff. They're giving you high buyer intent signals. So now AI doesn't recommend. It sends the right email because you've said if a person meets this criteria, they get this email. It starts the follow-up sequence. So when they download the guide, you may have asked for your market or industry, size of business, blah, blah, blah. They've done that. It then starts the follow-up sequence. It routes the lead into the correct offer path. You may have, depends what the pricing guide is to, category A, category B, category C. It updates them on your CRM or your spreadsheet or whatever you have where you've now logged this lead in your email marketing database. It does all that automatically. Same intelligence, different leverage. Same intelligence, different leverage. So this week's shift is choose one place where AI currently gives you a recommendation, which leads to follow up, which client needs to check in, which post to publish, which objection response to send. Then ask, what criteria would I personally use to make that decision? What criteria would I personally use to make that decision? For one of these tasks, actions, activities in your business, write those rules down. Then redefine the workflow so AI applies the rule and takes action, not recommends it. Just one. Over the Easter weekend, take some time to do that. You do not scale by being told what to do faster. You scale by removing the need to make the same decision again. That's you taking AI from as an assistant to AI as an operator. You decide once, the system runs from there. So that's us for this week on the AI Shift. I hope you take some time just to formulate your decision-making logic, how you make your decisions, what criteria you use to make certain decisions to get certain actions, and you give those to AI tool to do that for you. Set it up in your workflows, set it up in your automations. You do it now to a certain extent without realizing it. You get it to write an email, you get it to write sales copy, you get it to write a post, you get it to analyze some data. When it brings that back to you, you make a decision on what you're going to action. If you've got 5 things to do today with 5 different customers, you'll already make a decision I'm going to do with customer Bill first, then Mary, then Pam, then David, then Harry. But you've got in your mind a criteria of why you're going to action that in that order. Formulate that, document it, write it down, let AI do that for you, run it for a test for a while, get the review, the feedback loop in there so you can understand why you make a decision, how AI makes a decision, which is better, what works, what the result is, and then improve. And build that system into your business with AI. So that's us for this week. Thank you for your attendance. Here in Australia, it's Easter this weekend, so we have not only Friday as Good Friday off, but also we have Monday, Easter Monday as a holiday here. So I'm not sure if that's the case for you where you live, but I hope whatever you're doing over this Easter weekend, you have a wonderful weekend. I wish you all the best for a happy Easter to you and your family. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and please take some time, whether it's this afternoon, whether it's Thursday, whether it's Friday, Saturday or Sunday, and start to document your decision making and begin to hand it over to AI. But please leave us a comment, some feedback, questions or notes or suggestions on future topics you'd like us to cover. But until then, that's us for this week. We'll see you next week when we present another edition of the AI Shift. Until then, bye for now.